Hello and welcome to your Long Island weather update. We've got a lot going on with this storm approaching us. It's obviously warm and kind of muggy out there right now. But you can see here on the map, they've got us under a high wind warning now for, looks like Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau, Suffolk, coastal Connecticut. Outside of that is a wind advisory. We're also under a coastal flood warning as well, and a flood watch for inland areas, and offshore waters under a storm warning. And the rain is beginning to start. We've had some light, very on and off light rain today, but let's read the latest briefing from the National Weather Service on this storm. It says major coastal storm tonight into Monday. Threats for moderate to possibly major river flooding across northeast New Jersey, lower Hudson Valley, and southwestern Connecticut is increasing. Coastal flood warnings and advisories have been expanded. Widespread minor to moderate urban, poor drainage, and river flood threat tonight through Monday afternoon. Major flooding possible along quick responding rivers. I think it should be major flooding possible along quick responding rivers. Widespread moderate coastal flooding expected for much of the coast Monday's afternoon high tide. Locally major coastal flooding possible. Widespread dune erosion and scattered overwashes along the ocean beachfront on Monday. Strong to damaging winds for the coast late tonight into Monday. Storm conditions and high seas on all waters tonight through Monday. So heavy rain is going to be bringing widespread minor to moderate flooding threat. So now they've upped the rainfall 3 to 5 inches, locally 6 inches, possible for northeast New Jersey, lower Hudson Valley, and southwestern Connecticut. 2 to 3 inches of rain and locally 4 inches for New York City, western Long Island, and most of southeastern Connecticut. 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain for eastern Long Island and extreme southeastern Connecticut. Much of this will fall over 8 to 12 hours between 3 a.m. and 11 a.m. Rainfall rates of a half inch to 3/4 of an inch an hour in a 6 to 8 hour period between 3 a.m. and 11 a.m. Localized 1 inch an hour rates are possible. So it says here, impacts across the flood watch area. Widespread minor to moderate urban and poor drainage flooding expected late tonight through Monday morning, isolated to scattered flash flooding possible. This will likely cause scattered to numerous disruptions to transportation, localized flooding of basements, first floors of residences and businesses, as well as some underground infrastructures. Minor to moderate flooding expected along several quick responding small rivers and streams of northeast New Jersey, lower Hudson Valley, and southwestern Connecticut. Reasonable worst case scenario of minor to major flooding for a quick few responding rivers if greater than 4 inches is realized. Significant rises along large stem rivers with minor flooding possible along a few areas Monday into Tuesday. Heavy rainfall and or runoff coincided with the times of high tide late Monday morning and through Monday afternoon will exacerbate flood impacts along the coast. So as the rain and the sewer systems are trying to drain the rain, the tide is coming in. All right, the timing is going to be between 3 a.m. and 11 a.m. And let's go to the next thing. So this is their official rainfall forecast that they have. And you can see they have the heaviest rain over New Jersey into the Hudson Valley, northeast New Jersey into the Hudson Valley, where up to and possibly more than 5 inches could fall there. For us, 2 to 3 inches is looking likely on Long Island. All right. And these are some of the river flooding potential graphs that they have. And then we get to the winds, of course. We're under that high wind warning. All right. So this is much of the coast. So, again, that's Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau, Suffolk, and coastal Connecticut. Peak winds, south to southeast winds of 25 to 40 miles an hour with gusts to 60 miles an hour. Highest across Long Island and southeastern Connecticut with isolated gusts of 65 miles an hour possible. These strongest winds will likely be for a 4 to 6 hour period between 3 a.m. and 11 a.m. late tonight into Monday morning. Impacts. Numerous tree limbs will likely be down, as well as scattered trees and power lines. Scattered power outages are likely. Poorly secured outdoor objects will be damaged or blown away, so especially those Christmas decorations, anything that could be blown away, it's best to take in. In the wind advisory area, that would be the Jersey Shore and extreme northeast New Jersey up into interior Connecticut. Peak winds south to southeast of 20 to 30 miles an hour with gusts of 45 to 50 miles an hour. Scattered tree limbs will be downed, as well as isolated trees and power lines. A few power outages are possible there. And again, the strongest winds will be between 3 a.m. and 11 a.m. And this is their wind gust chart here, and it has a lot of Long Island getting up to the 60-degree mark, especially if you're on the South Shore and coastal Connecticut as well. We get to the coastal flooding, and these are the areas where the coastal flooding is possible. And again, 2 to 2.5 foot above ground storm surge is possible. Actually, no, that's the rivers. That's the rivers. Along the shore, 12 to 16 foot breaking waves are possible along the ocean front. Could be higher than that, I think. 20 foot possible. All right. Now, there are some forecast challenges here. It says peak surge of 3.5 to 5 feet. Will likely be a 5-foot storm surge. That's impressive. But will likely be between high tidal cycles. Monday morning with strongest south-southeast winds. If the wind shift is delayed until the time of high tide, locally major flooding. So 3 foot of inundation above ground is possible. This may not be evident until Monday morning. And then the heavy rainfall coinciding with all this. So you can see here is a chart of what they have. And we're in that major threat, which is the warning here. All right. 3 to 5 plus foot of inundation along the coast possible. All right. And here's some of the impact areas. They've got some charts here. This is like getting a tropical storm, folks. All right. You can see along the Rockaways, you're going to have issues, as well as some areas southwest of Valley Stream. And then going on to the south shore of Long Island, issues along Long Beach, issues south along Oceanside there and south of Merrick Road. You can see this is the map here. So the orange areas are where there's going to be expected impact. So all this area that's shaded here could be dealing with some saltwater flooding. This is major, and this doesn't even show the Fire Island yet. This is the Peconic Bay here. So, event summary. It says widespread 2 to 4 inches, locally 5 to 6 inches of rain likely through Monday morning. Minor to moderate urban poor drainage and river flood threat during this time. Minor to moderate flooding of several quick responding rivers across northeast New Jersey, lower Hudson Valley, and southwest Connecticut. Potential for a few rivers to hit major flooding if high-end rainfall accounts are realized. Southerly winds of 30 to 40 miles an hour with gusts of 55 to 60 miles are likely for the coast late tonight into Monday. Widespread coastal flooding and storm conditions on all waters late tonight through Monday. So, obviously, I went over the Weather Service thing first because it's important that we go over that because this is a major storm that we are going to be experiencing. All right. Looking currently at the radar, here's our storm. And you can see it really does look like a tropical storm in a lot of ways. It is some kind of hybrid, I guess you could say. Right now, we're in a break. We're not getting too much rain. But you can see there's a real heavy amount of rain there over the mid-Atlantic. And even some thunderstorms, even some severe thunderstorms, believe it or not, over the Carolinas. And if we go to the weather and hazards map, let's do that here. Where is it? You will see here that we have a tornado watch in effect for this coastal North Carolina area. And there actually have been a few tornadoes actually spotted with this. And then you can see also flash flood warning issued as well. And you can see all along the coast all the colors that we're seeing here from this storm. And inland, if you're in western Pennsylvania, you'll be dealing with the winter side of it. In Ohio, you'll be dealing with some possible snowfall. I'd much rather have that than what we're getting. Anyway, let's talk about our current conditions outside right now. Nothing too crazy right now outside. So ice lips at 56. The dew point is 56, so it's definitely gotten humid. There's some mist and drizzle around out there, some fog. We're going to look at what the day was like at Islip today. The temperatures will be rising through the night, so keep that in mind. See, temperatures have pretty much been stuck in the 50s pretty much all day, and they're going to be rising as the night goes on. I'm surprised it's yeah. There you can see there's a shower right there over islip. So you got a few showers around, but the steadier rain is off to the south right now. Um, let's go back to that map. Right. So we'll look at our highs and lows. Not much rain has fallen yet, but just briefly glancing, and we had highs generally in the mid to upper 50s. Most of them are the current temperatures. The lows, obviously, only in the mid 40s. So well above normal for today. We'll go to the climate statistics for the day. So we're going well above normal today. So 55 was the high. That was 11 degrees above normal. The low of 45 was 15 degrees above normal. So our average of 50 for the day puts us 13 degrees above normal at Islip. Central Park is also running 11 degrees above normal for the day. So again, very warm, and we're going to get a whole lot more rain here as 2.66. That's going to go way up that rainfall amount for Central Park after this storm is over. And so let's go to the radar again. Let's do that. So you can see this is a big storm, so you can see how it's just see that tropical connection right there. All right. We're going to see lightning and see how many thunderstorms are being going on right now. Let's see if there are any thunderstorms. Yeah, there is actually a good amount of lightning here. Coastal North Carolina, that's where the the tornado watch is. See a lot of lightning offshore as well. This is the satellite image, and see again. This is again. Look at that bright white clouds there. That's a lot of moisture right there that you have. We're going to put this in the East Coast view. We can do the East Coast view. We'll put it in the CONUS view. It's fair enough, so you can get a better look, wider look at this storm. You can see how the moisture's coming all the way from the tropics all the way up into this thing. It's really impressive looking. Really impressive looking, and it's even more impressive looking if we go and we look at let's go look at a longer loop of this so we can see what it looked like during the day a little bit. Just run a loop here on it. You can see just really bright white clouds. Look at that. You can see that right there. Look at that. That's some really impressive convective activity, and that's all kind of pivoting toward us. Let's look at a few of the I wish they'd have like a regular water vapor image. It seems like they only have the colored water vapor image. I prefer they're only colored, and I don't like that. But this is the mid, so it's kind of show you all the green that's with this. I wish they would have just a regular water vapor without the colorization on it. But you can see here, look. So this is warm, dry air here. This is cool, dry air, and this is warm. This green is all humidity here. That's coming up and getting convected off. This is at the mid levels here. All right, we can look at the low levels as well. And, just really incredible amount of moisture here. Incredible amount of moisture. It's really so a lot of rain with this. All right, so we're going to look at some observations closer to the center of the storm, so it gives you an idea of what's going on. Like, if you're in Delmarva right now, Ocean City has got a southeast wind at 28, gusting to 44. Let's see what some of these buoys are reporting here. This buoy is reporting a wave height of 6.9 feet, almost 7 feet. Wind gust to 42. The storm is going to get even worse as it moves closer to us, so we got to continue. That's not that close to the storm. Let's go a little closer into this area where we have the yellow, and this is where things get a little more interesting. So here's a buoy, 41025, southeast wind at 42, gusting to 54, air temperature 71, dew point is 69, downright tropical, wave height 21 feet. That's incredible right there. That's incredible. That really truly is incredible here. There's another buoy. East southeast wind to 29, gusting to 45. No what a temperature, 75. Holy cow, that's warm. That's off the Carolinas. So yeah, that's very, very warm. very warm. So really not good at all. Um, you can see temperatures are in the 60s here, and if you throw the dew points in, just to show you the humidity here, dew points way up into the 60s as well. So this is very, very humid air, just moisture-laden air um, that we're dealing with right now. So looking at the weather map here, you'll see here's your low, and again, that this area of red is where you have the heavy rain, flash flooding possible here. And again, there's your low. There's your low right there. It's a monster. It really is a monster. Let's look at it on the MODIS. And you can see just, again, the bright white clouds that this thing has. It's just really, really incredible to see. Really. Just incredible storm. Just the moisture. It's coming all the way from the Pacific, because the Pacific, here's your El Nino right here, and there's your El Nino connection. All right. And yeah, El Ninos are becoming more common due to climate change. Of course, that's not a surprise. And here's your Storm Prediction Center. You can see where they got that tornado watch right there. Let's go to the models and look at our storm now. All right, this is the GFS. And you can see it tracks just to our west, the center of it. You can see that heavy rain, the tight isobars, extremely deep system, pretty much goes almost right up the Hudson River into eastern Canada there. And then after it pulls away, we'll have nice weather after that. But we got to get through the storm first, and that's pretty much what I'm going to be spending most of my time talking about in this weather update. A little bit on the weather ahead for this week, but mainly about this just epic storm that's heading our way right now. So you can see that rain, that light rain, gets heavier as the evening goes on. This is the HRRR model, and you can see as we get toward the morning, that's when you're going to get into your convection. All right, right around 7 a.m. And then there's like the back end of this low here. What a weird shaped low that is. It's like an almond. What is it? Like a peanut almost, right? Very oblong, but very deep. And you can see that the rain chances will linger until probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then the rain moves away, and then we'll have windy conditions on the backside too. Look at how tight those isobars are on the backside, and then the drier air will come in. Let's look at what the HRRR thinks we're going to see as far as rainfall goes. And this is, HRRR, just like the National Weather Service, seems to think that those really heavy amounts, that 4 to 5 inch amounts, northeast New Jersey, particularly Bergen County, Rockland County, and to possibly Orange County or Dutchess County. This is a lot of heavy rain here, right? But this could be off, and it could be further east. For us here on Long Island, it's saying probably around 2 inches. I think it's underdone. I think we'll see more like 2 inches. But that's still a lot of rain to see, all right? Looking at your dew points and wind flow. So here's your dew points and wind flow, and you see there's that southeast wind. That southeast wind picking up there. Look at that humidity right there coming in. And then once the low passes over us, probably around 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock, it's into 3 o'clock. The winds will shift to the west and also be very strong, but it will bring in the cooler, drier air that will bring an end to this disgusting air mass. And then we'll have, again, drier conditions, cooler, drier conditions building in for your Tuesday. Temperatures, obviously, they're going to keep going up tonight. I think we'll see 60. Low 60s probably sometime in the morning tomorrow. And then as that low passes overhead, the cooler air comes back in. Temperatures will drop into the 40s by the evening, and then 30s by Tuesday morning. And then for Tuesday, much cooler with highs only around 40 degrees. So much cooler by Tuesday. Be a big drastic drop in temperature by then. All right. Let's look at our winds, and we're going to go to the 850 winds here for this, because this kind of shows your LLJ, where the areas of the strongest winds are. This is above the surface, but you can see that it does move over us, probably around that, again, that probably 4, 5 into 8, 7, 8 a.m. time frame. and then the LLJ leaves us by 10 o'clock. So the worst part of it, at least this is what the HRRR seems to think would be over by then. This is just showing the winds aloft at 850. But those winds can make their way down to the surface, and a thunderstorm can do that. All right. So let's go to some other models here. We're going to go back to look at some other models because we have more models to look at. Let's go to the NAM3 next. And we have 24 hours of the NAM3, which actually should be enough to get us through most of this storm. So here, again, here's that rain coming in here. Really heavy rain starts arriving again. Wee hours of the morning. You can see absolutely heavy downpours. But look at how it starts training over New Jersey. That's what's going to get them their higher amounts. But there could still be downpours over Long Island, too. And there's that center of the low, which could actually come through with another downpour. And we're going to have to watch for the possibility. I wouldn't say it's out of the question to see a severe thunderstorm with this. There's the center of the low overhead, right over Long Island, actually. So the track's a little different on this. It's a little further to the east versus the GFS. And you'll see here, there could be another heavy downpour with that, and then it finally pulls away after getting lots and lots of rain. So if we look at the total accumulated rainfall, you'll see here NAM's a little more generous. Again, keeps that heaviest spot in that northeast New Jersey, Hudson Valley area, but it has Long Island getting at least 2 inches of rain, and this is something I could agree with here. I think a lot of us, almost everybody's going to see at least 2 inches of rain out of this. There's going to be a lot of rain, And if we look at the 850 wind, which we'll do here, again, it kind of shows you the LLJ kind of moving into our area, again, probably around 4 in the morning, and then moving east of our area by 10 o'clock. That LLJ looks pretty nasty. All right, this is a loft, but still, it can come down to the surface in any kind of thunderstorm that we could see. All right. We're going to go look at the FGen now, and for this, I'm going to shift it over to the NAM12. So this is the FGen. Again, this is the amount of lift. Look at that lift that you're seeing. So that lift is when what's going to generate your heavy rain. You can see where the axis kind of sits right over that spot right there, over that northeast New Jersey, and that's where you're going to have your the heaviest precipitation from this storm. If we look at the NAM12 and the total accumulated precip, which is what I will do, you will see it will closely match up to the NAM3. And again, you can see this is through 15 days, so it should be most of the storm here. You can see most areas getting that at least 2 inches of rain, if not more. Let's go to the wind now at the surface. This is the sustained wind at the surface, and you'll see, again, that worst of it's going to be in that, that 4 a.m. After 4 a.m. through about 10 a.m. Over Long Island, and then it improves. And then the backside, you'll still have wind, but it won't be as bad. So that's what it looks like on the NAM. All right. Now we go to the coastal effects. I don't think this one has a wave. Yeah, I have to go to the GFS of the Euro for that. Let's do. The HRRR have waves? I don't know if it has a wave output. I'm kind of curious if it does. Don't think it does. Does not. No, we have to go to the GFS for that. So this is the GFS forecast for the wind, by the way. They pretty much agree on how this storm is going to play out. So significant wave height. This is the part that gets scary. And again, this is Monday morning. See how close that purple is to us. That's some pretty rough. That's going to be very devastating to a lot of you. Have a southeast wind, and it's going to cause a lot of inundation coast. Could this be the worst coastal flooding event since Sandy? Could it be? It has the potential to be. It definitely has the potential. Luckily, it is moving at a pretty good rate of speed. It's not going to sit around for too long, but it's still something that we have to be very concerned about, obviously. So after looking at all these models, let's go to the icon next. I mean, they pretty much all agree at this point. You can see, look at the icon. That just soaks us. Look at that red. I've never seen that before. That's insane. So if we look at the total accumulated precip on the icon, icon's heavier and more widespread for our area and has more of a widespread, at least 3 inches for a lot of areas. So it's really hard to predict what's going to happen, but we're going to see a lot of heavy rain combined with the winds, combined with the coastal flooding. It's going to be a recipe for disaster in a lot of areas, particularly, like I said, Long Beach is going to have a lot of flooding. Fire Island is going to just be devastated from this. This is going to suck for sure. So let's look at European. This is the European rainfall. All right. And we can also look at the wind with the European as well. The European keeps the worst winds a little more off to the east compared to the others. But the waves are going to be just unbelievable. Well, I mean, this is incredible. Absolutely incredible to see such a strong storm like this. Absolutely incredible. So we'll talk a little bit about let's talk a little bit about the rest of the weather for this week, and I'm just going to be very general about it. Looking at the CONUS view here, obviously that once that low moves out, we'll have high pressure building with fair and seasonable weather through much of the week, and then into next weekend we'll start seeing that high move offshore again, and then our next chance of rain, which probably won't be until after Christmas. Would be our next possible chance of rain with that next system. But you could see with this setup, we're not going to see any cold air coming down. So you can see here behind the storm this week, you can see there's no real cold air behind that, a little just seasonable. And then after that, we're above normal for quite a while. You can see we stay above normal. Here we are above normal right into January. So, and that kind of backs up what we're seeing with the Climate Prediction Center, just to show you the 6 to 10 day outlook. Above normal, and 8 to 14 day above normal. So winter is nowhere in sight, basically. So let's go to the get to a few more models here, and let me go to the RGEM model and take a look at that, see how that's handling the storm. All right, so we'll look at the RGEM as well. So this is the RGEM. You can see it's where that heavier rain is right there. After that, it's gone, and then we don't have to deal with any precipitation for a while. But that looks really heavy right there. And if we look at the total accumulated precip on this, look at what the RGEM does. So this is an outlier, but look at that. How about 6 inches of rain in Queens, maybe part of Nassau County, in Queens, Nassau, up into the Hudson Valley? It could happen. This is the worst, absolute worst case scenario. RGEM, obviously not the most accurate of models for precipitation, but still very concerning. Let's look at the winds on the RGEM as well. Okay, the RGEM is a little different with its wind profile. Go up to the 850. You can see it actually keeps the worst winds over Suffolk County for a good part of the storm. But every model is going to be different with this. Sky cover, obviously, maybe a little bit of sun toward late in the afternoon. Tuesday, we might start off with mostly sunny skies, then we'll have clouds build in later. And then for Wednesday, we should have a mostly sunny day. Thursday could be mostly sunny as well, but like I said, I'm going to just go very brief on this, very brief. Temperatures, I'll just show you the temperatures briefly. Obviously, after that, cool off Tuesday, but we're back into the mid-40s Wednesday, and look at that, mid-40s, which starts to be above normal now for Thursday. Friday, upper 30s. So you see, we're above normal again, basically. No really cold air in sight. But I really want to focus on the storms. That's all you're going to get about. That's all you're going to hear about the long range in this weather update. Sorry. Let's get to some more models here, and let's visualize this a little more. So here we go on the Ventu Sky, all right, which is the HRRR, right? This is showing wind gusts. Here we are at 11 o'clock. Nothing too terrible, but let's move it along to tomorrow here. Let's go to 3 a.m. This is where things start picking up, and I'll start at 2 a.m., and you'll see here we got wind gusts up to 46, 47 miles an hour. And then here we are, it's 5 a.m. We got wind gusts approaching 60 miles an hour, even along the coast. I'm surprised that they didn't include the Jersey Shore in that high wind warning. They might have needed it, at least the immediate Jersey Shore areas. And this is where we get into the real thick of it here. It's 7 in the morning. How you like a 67-mile-an-hour wind gust at Islip? I mean, we could see wind gusts over hurricane force possible from this. This is going to be some really crazy wind. Here we are, 65-mile-an-hour winds, wind gusts. Here we are at 11 a.m. Still dealing with 46-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And then by 2 p.m., you can see the winds start shifting over to the west. And then your LLJ starts shifting off to the east. But this is some pretty impressive winds. Absolutely impressive winds. Really something to see this. Really something to see. And again, if we put this to wind speed and I go just a little bit above the ground here, let's go 500 meters above the ground. So you get an idea of the kind of wind that's roaring just above our heads here at 5 in the morning. You got a sustained wind over hurricane force. This is just 500 meters up. All right. Move this along to 7 a.m. You can see how it intensifies. Get those dark maroons. So wind gusts over hurricane force possible over the Cape. And then here we are over the Cape again, over 94 miles an hour. This is, again, just above the surface, 100 meters up. All right. I meant 500 meters up. Let's go to 100 meters up. You get an idea. This is 100 meters up. These are sustained winds at 100 meters over our heads. All right. So the winds are going to be sustained at 50. These are sustained winds. So this is really concerning. I go to 250 meters. You can see how it changes as you go aloft, how it gets higher. As you go aloft. And I know somebody commented, well, but those winds are aloft. Yes, but any thunderstorm could bring those winds down to the surface. That's something you have to keep in mind. Anything that's convective has the potential in gusts to bring those winds down to the surface. Thunderstorms. Let's go look at the Cape levels for tomorrow. I don't see a whole lot of Cape here. But if we look at some of the other parameters, let's go to Cape Shear. It's a little bit of that. Wind shear is tremendous. Lifted index. There is lifted index, so that's what I'm saying. There's the potential for thunderstorms. This rain will be convective. Maybe the beginning will be stratiform, but the hard storm will have convective style rain. That's the kind. And look at the helicity. Oh my God, that's really bad. So this is not good at all. So this is the kind of thing. And now let's look at the waves, because we haven't even gotten to them that part yet. So 4 a.m., we're dealing with 10-footers offshore, but it gets a whole lot worse as soon as we make it to 10 a.m. Then we're starting to deal with waves close to 20 feet offshore here. All right. This is using the Icon model, I guess. Yeah, it's just not there. So you can see 21-foot waves here. So if these waves happen in the afternoon high tide, this is where you're going to have some significant flooding and overwash. Places like Dune Road, they're going to be... We could see some houses swept away. I would not be surprised. And like I said, Dune Road, the rich people like building stuff there, and they keep getting money to repair it. But we're just throwing money away. Really got to stop doing that, all right? Because it's going to get washed away every time, and especially as these storms get worse and worse due to climate change. You can see here 7, and I'm going to share a video too from Paul Beckwith about how these El Niños are worse due to climate change. You can see how 25-foot waves here. It's just absolutely insane. I'm actually sick looking at this. I really am. All right. Let's go to the windy.com. All right, windy.com, which will be the next one we'll look at, and this is the European model here. Let's move it to 3 a.m. And these are just sustained winds here at 4 a.m. We'll start 4 a.m. here. It's the sustained winds at the surface, sustained at 30. All right, 7 a.m. All right. These are just the sustained winds that I'm looking at right now. Sustained at 34. All right. But on top of that, that's when you're going to have your wind gusts. And take a look at this. So here we are 5 in the morning. And we got wind gusts 57 miles an hour. 51 miles an hour, but that's the worst of it's going to be a little bit later, like 7 a.m., I think. Yep, here we go. You can see those blues coming into the screen. Now you're dealing with wind gusts 60 miles an hour. The Monday morning commute, stay home. All right, don't try to go in because it's going to be really bad. And then you can see it actually gets worse further east. Look at these wind gusts now. How about wind gusts over hurricane force? Yep, that's what the Euro seems to think is possible out east. So, yeah, I think we have a good bet of seeing over hurricane force wind gusts out there. This is a tropical storm in. We're basically getting a tropical storm in December. This is what we're getting. This is the new normal, folks. All right, I'm moving it along now to 12, and you can see that the stronger winds start shifting off to the east. 3 p.m. You can see there now off to the east. Now let's go look at the waves. I hope these models are wrong. All right, 9 a.m. Look at this. Look at these waves. 17 foot, 22 foot, 20 foot, 16 foot. I mean, this is going to be very damaging. Especially, I think the worst area is going to be Fire Island out to Montauk, and New England as well. You're just going to get hammered. It's possible we could even see inundation of Montauk Highway and Napiog. It would not surprise me one bit that we see that. This is incredible here. Incredible waves that we're going to see here. This is going to be one of the worst storms we've had, I think, since Sandy. This is going to be very, very bad. And, of course, there's going to be a lot of power outages. The only thing that saves us is that the leaves are off the trees. But there's still going to be a lot of power outages, I think. So this is the kind of storm that we're going to be dealing with here. This is a very bad situation that we are going to be facing. And like I said, I would avoid travel at all possible if you can. Do not travel in the morning hours. All right? Do not travel in the morning hours. It is highly, highly unadvisable to do. Let's look at this storm again. And just take a look at this thing. Look at these bright white clouds. All this is heading our way. All of it is. And it's pretty crazy stuff. Let's go to the GLM flash intensity because it'll kind of show you the way lightning is. Look at this. There's a lot of lightning over here off Eastern Carolina right here. So, yeah, this is really, really, really bad. Really bad. Really bad. Really, really bad. So, I mean, I don't really have much more else to say at this point. We'll look at the AccuWeather radar one more time. And once again, go over the hazards that we are dealing with here. Actually, I'll play this for you. I think that's a good thing. We'll actually play this. So you get an idea. You can actually take a look and see how what the storm looks like here as it's moving up the coast. But this is a monster. This thing is a monster. So it's really hard to line up where the rain is going to... It looks like the rain is going to be more west. So I don't think on Long Island, I don't think we'll see insane rain amounts. But the wind is something I'm more concerned about. Because you got to remember, you have the heavy rain more on the left side of the storm, and on the right side is you have the wind and the seas, and the coastal beach erosion and the flooding. So this is going to be a bad storm, and I'll try to keep you updated when I can. It's going to be very bad, and hopefully I don't lose power. So hopefully I can continue to provide you with information. But we'll have to see what happens, and I expect massive delays on the railroad tomorrow. Service suspensions. Don't try and commute in the morning. Don't. Just take the day off. It's not worth your life getting caught in a flash flood or being hit by a fallen tree. It's not worth it, man. It's going to be very, very dangerous tomorrow morning. So that is all. Once again, high wind warning is in effect. High wind warning. We're going to go over all these hazards again. That high wind warning is in effect from midnight tonight till noon on Monday. We have the coastal flood warning. That's in effect from 10 p.m. tonight through 6 p.m. on Monday. And we have the coastal flood advisory, we have the flood advisory. We'll do the flood watch. This is more for inland, but this is through tonight through Monday afternoon. So that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather update as we get ready to deal with this pretty intense El Nino type storm that honestly I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this in December before. But this is the kind of world we live in now. Have a good night and be safe.